Good evening, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Linda, and this is my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please take a chance and subscribe to my channel and hear what I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for always being here. Thank you for always remembering that I have a video to upload to be viewed, and thank you for giving me a view. Even if it's one view, I appreciate. So guys, today I have another video for you guys. Don't mind my voice. I'm having a cold and any other health issues that I'm having around me. And let's get to our video for today. Our video for today is about Emani. Have you ever heard of her? I know you haven't. That's why I'm here. So Emani was born in April 2003 to her mother and father. Her mother signed custody to her father because she was suffering from not drug, but substance abuse, because it's not specified what substance she was abusing or something. So I'm not going to start like listing substances that are not listed in any of researches that I made. So now it's Emani and Iman after the mother disappeared, because from the time she signed the custody, nobody has heard of her. So Emani was defined, or maybe what can I say, people say that she was a very brilliant girl, especially the teachers. The teachers say she was brilliant, she was friendly, she was what can I say, she did well in school. She participated in everything, like, you know, everything. Just, she was okay in school. And they used to go to a church, like they were church going people. And when they used to go to church and all this, now that's like the beginning of November of 2008. They used to go to this church. Now all this time they have been alone, so we just moved fast forward, because not much is really said in between the time the mother left and the time the time that they met the stepmom. Not much is said, so I'm not going to dwell on something I don't know. So on this time they were going to church. And even I think even as Kenyans do this thing whereby after church you are all congregation going to a certain place to take your lunch, to talk, to maybe go through some things that you spoke in you preach, that the preacher preached in church and all that. So during these sessions of going to lunch and all that, Iman, who is now Imani's father, a friend of Iman introduced a woman to Iman, who was now Tiffany. And they started talking, they started mingling, and Tiffany had a good relationship with Imani. They bonded well. And and at this point, Tiffany never had children of her own. So I think there's this urge, there's this feeling that you feel when you don't have kids. You feel like, oh, you can just bond with any kid and all that. Not for everybody, but there are people who are like that. They bond a lot when they don't have kids, but when they already have kids now, their bonding on other kids decrease, because they have one or two of their own. I think that's what really happened in this scenario. So one day one day Tiffany called Imana. That's now Iman saying in court that Tiffany called him and told him, hey, do you mind if we date? Do you mind if we date? I just don't want to see you like a church partner. I don't know the name to give it. I want to date you. I want to have a relationship with you and all that. And Iman actually said, cool, because I think Iman felt like there's no problem, because they bonded well with Tiffany, now Iman and Tiffany, and also Tiffany bonded well with Imani, now the daughter. So he felt like there's no problem. I mean, it's a healthy relationship as far as his kid is concerned, and as far as he is concerned. So when all this is concerned, before we go far, guys, please, I like you to have a conversation on the comment section down below, and just tell me, how do you feel when a man actually decides to, not a man but a woman decides to approach you? Actually, I'm just asking men. How do you feel when a woman comes and tells you she wants to date you, like anakukatia, in simple terms? Is it because on our African setup that's not the way it goes? I mean, people are getting westernized day by day, but for me, I don't know. I don't know if I can really go and approach a man. If they cannot approach me, then I stick to my lane. I don't know. Just, you know, let's get this conversation going. How do you feel about that? So when Iman accepted the courtship, or maybe the dating call and all that, they started dating towards the end of 2008, and by the beginning of 2009 they were already engaged. By June of 2009 they were already married. They moved in together. Tiffany was a school teacher, and the father was also working different jobs. I cannot really spot and tell you he was doing this and that, but he was working his butt off. He was doing two jobs. He was working on two jobs a day, and the mother was a teacher. And within a short while, Tiffany gets pregnant. She gives birth to a boy by the name Tristan. The family is growing. They are a happy family. You know, about Tiffany, no, Imani, remember, she's schooling. She was a third grade at this point, and she's schooling. She's doing well in school, but the teacher said that at this point Imani started having problems with her homework. Sometimes her homework wasn't done, sometimes it was halfway done. There was just issues with her homework, yet the homework, the works that she did in school was brilliant. She did well in school, but she seemed to have a problem with her homework. So when all this is, one day when Iman was at work, he was called by the police to go to the police, and there was an issue there. When he reached there, he was told that the teachers had called the child protective services and told them that there was a problem, not a problem, but there was signs of child abuse in Emani. So so the police were called to investigate the case. And when Iman reached there and was told all this, and she was asked what had happened to her body, and she said that the stepmother, now Tiffany Moss, had beat her with a belt, not because she had not finished her homework. And I don't know, guys. Okay, first let's just get to the story. It's not my story to tell. It's not my, I don't know. So when all this, when the police had this and the case went to court, and the investigations was done, and it was found out that Tiffany actually beat this girl on the, with a belt, the metallic part of the belt, and that's why it had these bruises all over her skin, because of now you can imagine the metallic part, what it can do, So when all this happened, and Tiffany was given a plea deal whereby she was not going to jail, but she was going to be on probation. That's what the meaning of a plea deal. She was given a probation for 5 years. Means she's not going to work. She's going to be under. She cannot maybe move from the state she was living to another state. In short, she was in jail, but outside, not really in the behind bars, just out there, but in real sense she's restricted on doing some things like going to work, dealing with kids, doing this, all that. Now she was under probation, and when she went back to the house, to her home with Imani, with Tristan and Iman, tension was rising, because now Tiffany felt like it's Imani's fault that she could not work. It's Imani's fault that she was under probation. It was all Imani's fault that she was going through all this, despite the fact that she had gone to college to study and get a job. Now she cannot work, courtesy of Imani. She felt that way, but for my case, I don't think it was that way, because she's the one who she caused herself this problem. But to her, she felt like Imani, she just saw her like a small demon. Let me just put it that way. When all this now is happening, Imani, no, the courts, I don't know how they came to find out, but the courts removed Imani from the family and took her to the grandmother, now Iman's mother, and that's where she was raised for 6 good months. And there the grandmother said, Imani thrived. Do you know, guys, the meaning of thriving? This girl was doing well in school. She was eating well. She was doing her homework. She was playing. Just imagine all these things that a child can do. All the things that a normal child. A child has to be a child. Everything that a child could do, she was doing. She was happy. She was glowing. She was eating. She was thriving. She was doing in school. All that thing. She was okay. And when now these 6 months, Imani's parents, which were Tiffany Moss and Iman Moss, they were supposed to go for anger management. They were supposed to, there's something else, I don't remember the names, echo something. They were just supposed to take care of all the things that they have to take care of, so that they can accommodate Imani when they are ready, when they are ready to actually handle her again. Because now it seemed like she needed straight up parents, in short. Now, when the 6 months were over, Iman went to get Imani Moss, and the mother, now the grandmother to Imani, pleaded with Iman, please let this girl stay here. She is thriving. She's doing well in school. She is eating. She looks healthy. She everything. Yani she's doing well here. Just let her be. Let her stay with me here. You can always come and visit and all that. Let her not go back to Tiffany Moss, because we don't know what is happening behind closed doors, and it's obvious she's not happy there. But Iman Moss refused. She said no. And when he said no. I don't know why I'm using she. When he was asked later why he had refused for Imani to stay with his grandmother, he said that it's his pride. Oh, guys, pride. Pride. Okay, fast forward. That his pride will not allow him let her stay with the grandmother, who is the mother. It's his mother. Okay. When they took her home, actually, there was she became pregnant. Now Tiffany became pregnant again, and he gave birth to Emma, now another girl, Emma Moss. And the family was growing. Iman was getting more pressure to work harder, because the family was growing, and Tiffany was not supposed to work, and she was a lot. You can imagine adding another member of the family when it's only one person who is working. And at one point, when I think she was dropped by the school bus, and she refused to go to the apartment, and there were people at the office, apartment office, called the police and told them to come and ask her what the problem was, because she had refused to get to the house. And when they reached, when the police came and asked her why she doesn't want to go to the house, she told them that the stepmother was not nice to her. She will tie her to a chair and take her to the shower and open the shower with the freezing cold water, and if she could freeze there for a while, they could put her in a freezing cold water. Not they, but Tiffany could put her in a freezing cold water. And the police tried to tell her to open up, like show them the bruises or something. When she was about to show them, she hid. I don't know if she was hiding the bruises or what, but she did not show them exactly what her body looked like at that point. And when they asked the mother said, no, she's just being rebellious. She does it. She's jealous of my relationship with the father. She doesn't love his brother. She was complaining. She was making Tiffany Imani to look like this rebellious girl. And a lot, she was actually just branding her in a certain way that was very unpleasant. And now the police could not do much, because now there was nothing to show of what Imani had said, and they really needed evidence for them to take Tiffany away, but they did not have any evidence. A lot of these law issues, law and crime, and they deal with evidence. When they don't have evidence, then they just can, their hands are tied, in short. So at this point, there's many occasions whereby it is said that Imani was running away. There's a time that Imani hid in the bush and slept there. You can imagine if your kid or your child or your baby has actually prefers to go to sleep in the bush rather than sleep in your own house. And my question is, where was the father when this child was sleeping in the bush? I mean, it's clear he saw everything, and I feel like she what can I say, she valued Tiffany more than the child. That's the word. Yeah, she valued Imani, not Imani, Tiffany, now the wife, than the child. And because now all this disappearing, and you're not really concerned, why is my child disappearing in the first place? And I'm also, the other point that I was asking myself, if this woman was under probation, why are they putting Imani and Tiffany in the same house? You know, taking into consideration what had happened to her previously, for this woman to be in probation in the first place. So there's so many things that I feel like this girl was actually failed by the parents, was actually failed by the authorities. She was just failed by everybody. The only person that I cannot blame in this scene is her siblings, who was who was Tristan and Emma. They were young. What could they do? But the other people, they were old enough. Even the mother tried, the grandmother tried, but it just was hard. So all this was happening, and the father was working 2 jobs a day, and he said that when he was oh, sorry guys, when he had offs on weekends, and that's when he could stay with the kids, and the mother will go out there and at least have fun, and and unwind and do that, go to see her mother and all this stuff. So Imani must say that when he remained with the kids, he saw a very big difference, because Imani Moss will eat non-stop, but the girl looked thin, the girl looked malnourished, the girl looked like she had never eaten, but all she could do when he was around is eat. And I don't know, he felt like guys, he felt like she was sick, so he even took her to hospital to like find out what the problem was, and the doctors told him that she was okay, she was not sick. So he just concluded that maybe its metabolism was on fire and all that. There's a certain age for kids when they are old, around 10 years. That's when they have this fire metabolism, where they just eat and nothing is adding to their body. But I think that was not the point, because she was not yet there. She was not yet to that age. So this suffering was going on. There's even a time whereby this girl was actually going to the kitchen to like reach for food, and hot water poured on her. That is what she said in court, but it seemed like she actually burnt her when she was looking for food. She was not given food, she was not given clothing, she was starved. This girl was being starved, and at around 9 years, she still weighed like a 5-year-old girl. She was so thin, she was so, her body was not, she was malnourished. And there's a point whereby Tiffany Moss actually cut off her hair, and when the family member from the father's side asked her, what happened to her hair, and she said that she misbehaved and I cut her hair. If she wanna behave ugly, she has to look ugly. Can you imagine? So she cut her hair to look ugly. Can you imagine the kind of demoralization, the kind of lowering self-esteem that was happening there? Like she was taking her self-esteem to the ground, like literally to the ground, downhill. And I felt so bad, because she's a girl, she needs her hair. And because Emani Moss, the teacher said that she loved to put her hair in ponytail, and she put it on small bands and all that. So she loved her hair. For somebody to just come and cut it, and she really had no she had nothing to do. You know, she's a baby. She needed her father to protect her. I'm wondering if the father came from work and saw the child without hair, what was his reaction? Where is my baby's hair? You know, like, I don't know. I don't know why where he behaved like he didn't really live in this house with his daughter, that he didn't see all these things happening. So all this started happening. So it was a whole torture process, starving this girl, not giving her food, but taking care of. You know, it's worse when the other kids are being taken care of. The other kids are being fed. The other kids are being taken, you know, so much. Even it reached a point these other kids were being taken for vacation, not really vacations, but to, you know, go out there, have fun, go for drives, go for this, and Imani Moss was left back at home. And apparently she had a room. She was always in her room. She was always locked in her room, you know. I think they were also embarrassed with the way she looked. You know, she was now malnourished, thin like fiber and all that. And they now left this child now started staying back at home alone. And the neighbors, even the neighbors testified and said that they could see Tristan and Emma playing outside their house every single day, so many times, yet they saw Imani Moss play once outside that house. They really never saw her. They never saw her play with the other siblings. She was always in the house. She never followed them to maybe grocery stores. You know, they just never went anywhere with her. She remained back at home. And my question is, does it mean Imani Moss, that idiot, did not see his daughter being mistreated? Or if he did not know, why wasn't he going somewhere with her? I mean, why did he accept that his son to remain back, his daughter to remain back at home, and while others are going out there and having fun? And after all this, there's so much torture that was happening. You know, this a time, you know, it was just a starvation thing. Yani, the kid was being starved. The kid could not be dressed. Her hair was cut, everything else, you know. It even reached a point now she could not walk. Now fast forward to 2013. You know, 2013 is when everything turned to worse. Now at this point she was 10 years old. She has suffered everything. She's thin, she's everything you can imagine of a malnourished child. When in 2013, the, you know, the child could not walk. She was weak, she was everything. And at a certain point, Imani now, Tiffany called Iman, and told him that something was wrong with Imani. And when Iman came, these names, when Iman came, Iman actually finished his work first before he came home to see what was happening to his daughter. Can you imagine, guys? Somebody calls me at work, my child, there's a problem with my child, then I have the audacity to finish up my work first before I go to see what's wrong with my daughter. I mean, if somebody tells me I don't care about my child, I really don't know if I have anything to say, because that's what it is. I really don't care. So when Tiffany called Iman to telling him that something was wrong with Imani, and the man decided to finish his work first before he came home. When he came home in the evening, what can I tell you? He went to the bathroom and saw Imani just there, you know, in the shower with cold water and having scissors, and his eyes were, I don't know if I can show you my eyes, you know, like just turning his eyes, you know, like somebody is about to just what can I say, collapse or faint or something. And they took her to her room. They took her to her room, and you know, nobody was really going to that room to check on her and all that. So 6 days later, Tiffany calls Iman again at work, telling him that Imani is dead. Guys, Emani is dead. And when he said that Emani was dead, when she said that Emani was dead, the father, now Iman Moss, has still had the audacity to finish up his work first before he came home to see his deceased child. Can you imagine, guys? I mean, he had no balls, or he had no heart. I don't know what he didn't have, but he really did not have something. So when he came home in the evening and his daughter was dead in the bed there, they wrapped him with sheets. They wrapped her with sheets and took her to their computer room. And when they put her there, she stayed there for a couple of days. So guys, I just want to give you a picture. Staying in a house, knowing that in another room in this same house, your daughter is there dead. You can wake up in the morning and go to work and come back. Really now, like she's dead there for days. And first of all, before now they put them before they put her in the computer room, Iman Moss told Tiffany, let's call the police so they can come and take care of the situation. And Tiffany flipped and said, you cannot call the police because I'm under probation. They are going to say that I'm the one who did this and this and this to her. So I think Emani was like, I'm not going to lose my family and lose my daughter at the same time. So they decided to find another option of dealing with the body. And so when they were taking care of, now that's when they wrapped her with sheets and put her in the computer room. After putting her in the computer room, now Iman was still going to work, coming back home, eating. Guys, is it only me who's scared of dead bodies? Because even if you're my friend and you die now, automatically I'm scared of you, because I don't know, the spirit thing just hits me once and I cannot deal with it. I cannot live in the same house with a dead person. These people were just from another, I don't know. So I think it reached around a weekend now. I've told you that Iman was on was on off or on leave or on what, like he never used to go to work on weekends. So that's when they decided to take care of the body. And Iman Moss now was, all this time he's been going to work, coming back with the dead baby in the house. He's been like thinking hard on how to deal with the body. Now he had decided he's going to cremate her. Yes, guys, he is going to cremate his daughter's body. So he went to Walmart. He bought a metallic what? A metallic trash can and some lighters, some everything, so many things, lighters, trash can, a lot, and some paraffin or diesel, I don't know what, and they went to, he brought it home, went to the room, brought out, now I think this is now on a Sunday, brought, because of rigor mortis. Hey, rigor mortis. Okay, rigor mortis. Rigor mortis is where all the process or the changes that take place in our body. Firstly, it should become stiff now because it's been there for a while. And when they went to that room, they had to bend it like so hard for it to like fit the trash can, guys. To fit the trash can. And now they did that and like wrapped it around with a duct tape, hiyo ni duct tape, ni sellotape ya black, sijui duct tape. And they put it in a trash can, they put it in the car, took their two kids, Emma and Tristan, and they went to, they drove off just to find a place they could do this cremation process. When they finally found somewhere, they put it down, poured all the, I don't know, the kerosene, I don't know the kind of liquid, combustion liquid they bought. So they poured it and they lit, and they waited for it to burn. And actually I've come to notice that this cremation thing, it really takes a lot of heat for a body to burn, because I hear it takes 1400 to 1800 degrees Celsius for a body to burn, and it still had to burn. It has to burn for 1.5 hours for it to, for it to, what can I say, to produce ashes or something. So they burnt it, but the body wasn't changing. That's the point. It wasn't changing. The body was just the way it was, but it was burning. And I think they let it for almost 45 minutes to an hour, and it could not burn. So when they saw it is not burning, they put the fire out, and they waited for the trash can, which was metallic, to cool down before they started their road trip again. They put it back to the vehicle and they drove back home. When they drove back home, now they were now going to look for another way to get rid of this body. And now here is a man going to work with his truck with his dead baby at the back, at the boot, or at the what, I don't know, at the what, you know, every single day, going to work with your baby in the trash can behind you in your car every single day. And it reached a point, Iman Moss actually testified, said that sometime during this lunch breaks, he would go and mourn his daughter. I don't even know why he was mourning, because he has contributed so much to her suffering and her death. I don't even know why he was saying that he was mourning. So at a point he broke down and just, you know, I can say he just got enough of it, and he shared this story with a friend, and a friend told him, call 911. Okay, now when he called 911, how can I say, when he called 911, now all these dispatchers, or these people who take calls, could not really understand what Emani Moss was saying. They did not understand if it's a suicide. They could not understand if it was murder, homicide, because he was not explaining himself well. And so they decided to send dispatchers to go there and actually find out what was going on. When they reached there, and Iman was there talking non-stop, and all of a sudden he just said, her body is there. So when they went there and saw this trash can, and when they opened it and saw what they saw, this guy this police who had gone there to open the trash can was like, take him into custody. And he was arrested. Now when he was arrested, and he seemed to be really relieved. It didn't seem like somebody was scared or something. He was just relieved, because it seemed like he had been going through so much, you know, since the day his daughter died, and he was just trying to get it off his chest. And when he went to court, he accepted to, what can I say, he accepted to testify against his wife and say actually what had been happening. That's when he said how much the wife kept complaining about Emani Moss, how much, you know, how she cut her hair, you know, so many things that had been happening. And it was like taking a plea deal so that he cannot face death penalty, which is the capital punishment. So he was sentenced to life without possibility of parole. Guys, I told you, possibility of parole is whereby you can never get out, be it parole, whether you behave well, whether you do what. And Tiffany Moss was given a death penalty. And I don't know, guys, if she has been given, if she has already gone through the real killing. I don't know. I'll try to find out for you guys and tell you what really happened. And guys, my next video is going to be on how, you know, what happens in the last 24 hours of convicts or who have been given death penalty. So guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Mwah! Love you.